How are you doing, guys, and welcome to the One Shot Show. I am Ty, and this is my co-host Josh.
Hello, we're doing another What Would We Do video because, as always, being two failed Call of Duty players, well, mainly me, not Ty. Ty's a casual. But we know best. And today's edition is the.
The Seattle Surge edition. They are one of only three teams to not make a change. The others being FaZe and Optic, and as you can tell, FaZe and Optic, you understand it. Surge, they're like joint last or joint second last, so it makes no sense. So today we're debunking that.
They looked like they were going to improve in stage 2, and so far in stage 3, the same issues have keep reoccurring. And we've noticed a certain individual, not to name names just yet, is definitely causing a weakness in the team, in our opinion, even with the strong stuff we can get. So, Ty, who is this week odd one out? The weak
Yeah,
link.
it pains me to say it because he's a good player. He does what's needed for the team, but dropping point eights consistently is just not what you need at this level. So unfortunately, Looney, you are the one who has got to go.
Now, I was nice. Ty said he was going to drop him on his head. He was going to
I
karate kick him. He was going to beat him up. I'm joking. No. Ty, we both agreed we'd move him to coach if he'd agree because he is smart.
hmm
Right, he's got to go though. In the great words of the late Claude from AFTV, it's time to go.
Yep.
And we thought of some replacements. We've looked at challengers. We've looked at some bench players within their price range because Huka's not an option.
They'd wish.
Yeah, I think everyone wishes outside FaZe and Optic.
hmm
And Toronto at the moment because Bance is a god. Anyway, what players did we agree on to start with? Because we did agree on three, and then we have a fourth one where we went different.
So no, the first player we agreed on, which was the first player we both instantly thought of, was Desi. I think it's about time someone picks him up, and they need a sub player that knows how to play the game in the methodical way Looney does, but puts up better numbers, and Desi fits that bill for me.
Yeah, I agree. His record in challenges has been pretty good. He's got two Challengers Cups and a Challengers Open win since February, or since stage one of Elite,
hmm
and then he's also finished second at the last Elite. So he's getting high results. His
Yeah.
team's clearly good. He's one of the best subs in all of Challengers.
hmm
Mutineers went to take a risk on him, but it seems like they backed out. They tried a bunch of people. He clearly didn't fit that mold, but he could fit here because he can speed it up. We saw it on
hmm
Black Ops 4. He can speed up. They need someone quick.
Yes.
Prestini is too fast. As is Gunless. They both have 47 average engagements on fucking map
Yeah, it's
in
crazy.
in hardpoint. That is, I think.
I think they need to up the tempo of the team because everyone's getting crazy numbers, crazy engagements, crazy damage. Apart from Looney, he's doing what's needed, and I'm not saying he doesn't add value to the team, but if you're looking at the top teams in the league, like your Phases and your Dallases and your Optics, everyone's putting up consistent numbers. If Scump's not having a good game, Envoy is. You don't see
Yeah.
Looney picking up Pristini's slack very often.
And with that, that did lead us to what we think is actually the best decision for them if they can get him. Vivid.
hmm
LAG benched him for some reason, despite him having like the most damage on the roster. He has a .94, which is much higher than Looney's. I think Looney has like a .85, .84. So he's better than Looney on that. He's almost at his one. His S&D in stage 2, 1.2, and he has the highest engagements out of any pro. It's a player playing faster than Prestini. You give Prestini someone to bait.
Literally, I think Vivid's average damage per game is 3,600. Looney's is 2,600.
Yeah. He's getting
I
more damage, more engagements, more kills, winning more of them engagements, and he's cracked out his fucking mind. Like
Yeah,
he's
and
playing quick.
he's playing quick, and that is the key to success in this game. Like if you look at the best teams, they play very very fast, and if you have the slowest player being Octane, like you have Gunless, Pristini, and Vivid running at you,
Yeah,
that's a whole lot more scarier than having Looney sitting in a corner waiting for you.
yeah. When looking at the stats, we saw Looney has less engagements on map than Octane. That shouldn't. The subs should not have less engagements than your main AR.
No.
That's just wrong. But with that, we think Vivid's the best option.
Mhm.
But we do have two more each.
We do.
We've both agreed on Saints from New York Academy, or for everyone else, if you've watched for a while, he's one of the most annoying pros in history. Because if he
Yep.
wants to be good, like currently, he's basically like top 5 AM in my opinion, in North America at least.
Yeah.
So when he wants to be good, insane. When he can't be asked, he's just useless. But
Yep.
at the moment, he's trying to prove himself, isn't he?
Yeah. It's a risk. It is a risk with Saints, more so than the other two. But like you said, if he wants to win, and I think that now with franchising, getting onto a top team is a lot harder than it was previously because you could just get picked up. Once you get your spot, you need to keep it, otherwise you will go straight back down. So if he can keep that hunger and that fight in him, it's a good risk to take. It's just, how do you know? How can you be sure?
If you motivate him, and let's put it this way: if Hugh can get dropped from a fucking team, Saints can get dropped. What like that's got to be motivation enough. If one of the best subs in the whole game can be dropped, he's got to play at the top, and
Mm.
it's gonna kick him in the gear. And I think he would be talent wise. I think for pure out and out talent, I think he would be the best out of the four options we got. But that's
I
my
can see
opinion.
why. I can see. I'm not like disagreeing with you. I'm just. I can see what you mean. He's very much a on his day one of the scariest players to play against, and very like ratty and a hard kill. So if you get him on the right day with all four of those players firing on point, they could beat anyone in the league, in my opinion,
Yeah.
providing they're all on their game.
Anyway, this is where we now differ.
Yes, it is.
We broke apart. Ty chose wrong. No, I'm joking.
As usual.
But who did you suggest?
I think this one is a safe option. I think in terms of like for popularity wise, because everyone who is remotely interested in COD, especially over the last few years, wants to see John back in the league. Me being one of them. But nostalgia aside, he's actually putting the numbers up to prove he deserves a chance. Like he came first in the last elite, he won it.
Yeah.
Like you, he's he deserves a chance at some point. You'd think with your expectations can't really be much lower now with just Surge. It's a bit like Saints because it is a risk because he was out of the game last year, but I don't know. I have faith in John still.
We do have to remember as well to because I am a fan of John. Being he won MV world title, almost got us a second. He is a world champ. He knows how to win. He's a clinical winner. He won in Black Ops 4 with LG. He won in Infinite Warfare with Envy. Black Ops 3. I believe he won in Advanced Warfare. Like he's won in nearly every
Yeah.
game he's ever played in. Like clinical winner. But it's a tryout game as well. He's notorious for being good on them. But
Hmm.
was he out too long to return to the top?
It's a good point because we don't know the specifics of like why he was out, how it's affected his game, etc. Like all of those things aren't public knowledge. So it's hard to make an estimate or a decision on whether it would impact. But history has shown that the longer a player has out of the scene, the harder it is to get back in.
So I reckon John could do it. I believe in John, but it's a big risk for how long he was
Yeah,
out to then throw him straight back in the pro league instantly when he's back. But he is proving himself.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, I picked
Moving on.
mine. Everyone knows mine. He was in the CDL until a few weeks ago. People probably disagree with me, but I think he was kind of questionably dropped. You know my thoughts on this. It's
Yeah,
slacked.
yeah,
I think when he's dropping a .9, I think he had .91 overall, so basically .9, and he's meant to be your bitch player. He's
yeah.
meant to be your loony, your hill time, your dying first, doing everything else. If he's doing his role and he's getting a .9, which is what he's kind of meant to do, Neptune's clearly doing something wrong, in my opinion. Because if he doesn't even have a 1 KD and he's meant to be like the superstar slayer on that team now,
Mhm.
I'm sure he's going to reach it, and I get why they didn't drop him. But anyway, with that, I think Slap would be a good pickup. He basically does what Looney does, but better.
Yeah. I can see you. I can see your point. My biggest disagreement with Slacked, and it's not even that big of a deal. I just think if they want a Looney, they've got Looney.
Yeah,
They need a breath of fresh air. They need a new style of play because their style of play right now is not good. Their gun skill is obviously up there in the league. Every single player in the league has the required gun skill. There's no doubting that. But the play style they've implemented at Surge is just not
not
working.
good.
And if
No.
you bring in a Vivid or you bring in a Desi or you bring in a Saints, the pace will increase. Pristini will be able to do arguably his best role, which is doing what's best for the team. He's not. He can slay, obviously. I'm not saying he can't, but if you have Vivid running around killing everything that moves and allowing Pristini to be a little rat and not die and just be a nuisance to the other team instead of having to have the slaying power, then I also can see your point. It's slacked.
Yeah.
He's just like the point you made with John. He's a winner. He's won in every title he's played in, apart from this year, I think.
Apart
Or
from
if
Modern Warfare.
so the last 2 games he hasn't won anything, which is, I mean, his teams haven't been great.
No.
Um, so yeah, he could. I don't see why he couldn't win on that
Yeah.
team. He has that mentality.
Yeah. But I think we both agree. If we were to do it, if we got the fat paycheck but not quite good enough for Hugh, Vivid all day.
Yeah, Vivid's our number one. I think in
Yeah.
agreement.
We need Seattle, please. Vivid.
Just loan him
Octane,
if you need to.
Octane can lead. Vivid.
Just get him in there. Just get Reese in there.
Yeah. And with that, tell us below who you would sign to fix them. You can not be hyper realistic like us and say Hugh, or they're going to do a miracle transfer for Simp or some crazy thing like that, or you can do a realistic one like ours.
It doesn't matter. Do what you would want to do.
Give us a like, subscribe for more content in the future, and we'll see ya next time.
See ya.